Welcome to this week's vlog. There's Lola in the back, a very, very full car. Looks like we've thrown everything in, but actually we're halfway through our journey and it's already chaos in here. We are halfway to Norfolk, I reckon. We are the other side of the Dartford Tunnel. We have just stopped at a service station. So I've got all the children and Lola. Simon has been in Wales and he is driving to Norfolk, and we are all meeting there this evening, and we are there until Sunday. We are staying with Archie's godfather, who is one of my dearest friends from school, and so really looking forward to seeing him and his family and his gorgeous children. One of them is my goddaughter, so we haven't seen them since pre-COVID, so really looking forward to a much overdue catch up with them. The children have just gone in to get some food because we're going to be there too late for supper, so I've sent them in. There's Waitrose. Archie's got this whole new lingo from school. He's calling it WAP, and I was like, what are you talking about? It's like Waitrose and Partners, Mum. So they've gone in there, and I thought I would just chat to you because it's too difficult telling three children to be quiet because Mum is talking to her camera. Dear Lola's very intrigued. This is her first big car journey, and I will tell you why she's coming with us later, but I'm going to go in now, sort the children out, and see you in Norfolk. It is the most beautiful sunny autumn day here in Norfolk. We are staying at Stradsett Hall, and Alfred and Charlotte, who live here, Alfred is actually Archie's godfather. I was at school with him, and they have weddings here. It's a wedding venue, and I thought I'd just share a little bit of it with you because it's gorgeous. And I'm walking in the rose garden, and look, it's not really wedding, like proper wedding season, and when we're heading rapidly towards November, but it's just stunning. And you can hire it out here. You can have your wedding. You can choose sort of the different areas they're licensed to hold weddings. So here in the rose garden, look how beautiful the house is behind me. I'm going to leave all of Stradsett's details linked down below because it's just a really magical place. Look, I'm going to turn you around and show you, but it's just gorgeous. We've had such a lovely weekend catching up, lots of laughter. It's gorgeous for the children all to be together. They've got 3 children as well, and yeah, really happy time. It's lovely to spend some time with Archie. And for him to spend some time with his godfather. Because of COVID, we haven't been up here for a wee while, so it's been yeah, really a very happy weekend. But I'm going to stop prattling and just show you around. So this is the orangery. It's currently full of chairs, but this is another wedding venue. You know, you can have just a small intimate wedding in here. I don't know how many it seats, but it's just, you know, really great place, and it's so pretty. I mean, obviously it's not the time of year when everything is looking its best as we're sort of heading towards winter, but I think it's stunning, just stunning. not only do they have weddings here, but they have some amazing events in the parkland. I know that there's a huge firework party coming up soon, which sounds incredible. I mean, I think it's the biggest firework display in East Anglia, which sounds amazing. And they have all sorts of other things as well. So I'll leave the links down below, and you can have a look. But there's the tractors, and then one year we came out for sort of a fairy fair. It was really magical for the children. So there's lots going on in this part of the world. But yeah, it's just gorgeous being up here, and so relaxing. We've had lots of fresh air, lots of long walks, and it's been yeah, just a gorgeous weekend. So one of the other reasons why we are up in Norfolk is for Lola to go to a dog trainer. Simon is travelling so much with work. He's really full on, and he was hoping, the plan was he was going to do it himself, but actually he's done a bit, and he was very impressed, the chap that we took Lola to this morning. But she needs, you know, this is a time when we really need to kind of focus on her training. I certainly don't have the time that she needs, and so she's going to be with him for a little while, and that's really exciting. And it was so lovely to spend some time with him this morning and see exactly how he works with the dogs and what he does. And he's very kind and very gentle, and a proper sort of country man through and through. And Coco was very pleased. He had horses as well, so we had lots of lovely chats with him, and Lola seemed very happy. So we're going to talk to him in a week and see how they're getting on. We are back from a gorgeous weekend in Norfolk. It was very lovely. Simon headed up to Grimsby from there, and I brought the children home. It was a bit eventful when we got back. We had a power cut. It was really stormy here. We'd had amazing weather in Norfolk. I mean, you'll see, it's just blue skies, beautiful. And here in Sussex, I think it was pretty wet and pretty stormy and pretty wild. And it was a really wild night. And actually, I don't really like having a power cut when Simon's not here. That might sound really pathetic. I didn't let on to the children, but it was, yeah, I don't like having lots of candles around. I actually didn't have enough batteries for all the lanterns. We've got sort of battery lanterns, so we couldn't all have a lantern in our room, and it was just, yeah, I was tired. It had been a long journey, and then I slept really badly. I think the power came back on about 2 or 3 this morning, but I probably saw every hour of last night, which is not ideal. And then I got up to take Coco to school this morning, and we're just having a quiet day here, pottering around. But I have been doing some cleaning, and I thought I would share this with you because I'm going to share it on my TikTok. I'm embracing, well, I'm not sure it's embracing, braving TikTok at the moment, which I've been trying to get to grips with for a while, and I think I'm pretty useless at it, but hey ho, it's a little bit of fun. Anyway, I've got an empty spray bottle. These, I can't remember where I got these from, but they're pretty useful. But you can keep any old spray bottle and use that. Then we are going to use, this is so easy, and this is a general purpose cleaner. We're going to use 1 cup of plain white vinegar. And I'm actually going to use a funnel because it's just easier. And 1 part of white vinegar to 2 parts of water. And this is just a kind of general purpose cleaner, and I've been using this for quite a while, and it works wonders, and it's so much cheaper, because actually today we're going to talk quite a lot about money saving tips, but you know, this is one of them, which is pretty obvious. It's not spending a fortune on cleaning products, it's about making your own. So I've got my mixture there, and this is a eucalyptus essential oil. Now you can use whichever essential oils you like the smell of. Lemon works really well, but I also think you need to mask the smell of the vinegar, and so I think the eucalyptus does quite a good job of that, and I'm actually going for 10 drops, so I'm going to try and count. So that bottle of essential oils is going to go a really long way. I mean, it's going to last you years. And this mixture will also last you a long time. It's great at degreasing. It's great on windows. It is great. I use it on my Argus splashback. You know, it does get a bit sticky, like, and dust sticky up there, you know, in the kitchen. And this just works really well at cutting through the grease. I think because you've diluted the white vinegar 2 parts to 1, that actually pretty much any surface you're fine with. You have got to be a little bit careful with vinegar on some stones and some marble and things like that, but we're not using neat vinegar. It is quite well diluted, and you'd either spray it directly onto a cloth like that and then wipe, or you can spray it onto the surface and then wipe. And actually, I think it's a really pleasant smell with the eucalyptus. You can add a few more drops if you want. You can make it totally your own, but you can see that is really cheap. It's white vinegar and a few drops of essential oil, rather than spending a fortune on cleaning products. And you can use this as a general purpose cleaner all throughout your home. You don't need to have a whole load of products for a whole load of things. You really don't. And I think that's one way of saving quite a lot of money. You know, times are difficult. We've all got to look at how we're spending our money and what we're spending it on. So this is a great little hack for you, making your own cleaning products, and you will save a fortune. I have written a list of things that sprung to mind of ways of saving money, and just things that you may not have thought of that I just thought I would share with you. And please, 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 because I'm sure I have not covered everything on my list, leave down below things that you have done that we can, you know, we can all learn from. This is a really lovely community, and so I think we can all help each other out. And if we all pull our ideas together, then that's just going to be better for everyone, isn't it? So the first thing is to check your bank statements. Make sure that you are aware of what is coming in and what is going out, and do that on a regular basis, because things, you know, you might have a direct debit that no longer needs to be in place, that you have forgotten to cancel, and that is just wasted money going out. So it's really, really crucial to check your bank statements regularly. Make sure that a transaction for something hasn't gone through twice. That actually happened to me recently. So you do need to check. Check all of your direct debits. Do you need them all? Can you cancel some of them? Do you still need that subscription to that magazine? Do you? Think about it. So that's, you know, first place to look. You know, direct debits, subscriptions, memberships to things. Do you need them? Think, you know, is this something that I really need in my life, or is this somewhere I can be saving money? I did have subscriptions to First News and Junior Week for the children, but they weren't reading them, and it was a complete waste of money, so I cancelled those. And actually over a period of time you can save yourself quite a lot of money, so that is the first thing to do. The next thing we're going to talk about is meal planning. Now, you guys are probably bored of this, but actually I'm going to give you 10% off for a week of my meal planner, so I will link down below. There'll be a code for you that you can get a discount for this, because meal planning is so important. You're going to save yourself a fortune if you plan your meals carefully. You're going to know that you have got food in the fridge, so you know when the children ask, can we have a takeaway, rather than saying yes, we can have a takeaway because actually you haven't got anything to eat. You're saving yourself a lot of money by just carefully planning your meals out. I like to do it on a Sunday night. We go through our diaries, we meal plan, and we, you know, check that we both know where we're going and what we're doing. And I think it's really important to go through your diaries, then you know what's happening for the week ahead, and then you can meal plan according to that. Batch cooking. You guys know I'm mad keen about batch cooking. I have a batch cooking course, which I'll be running again in the new year, but it's available now if you want to do it. It just won't be part of a community right now. But, you know, batch cooking, meal planning, it is essential. It's going to save you lots of money. It's going to save you lots of time, and it's going to save you lots of hassle. So that is, you know, really a big change that you can make. And then, you know, talking about takeaways and meals out, you know, maybe look at that's an area of saving quite a lot of money. Do we need meals out as frequently as we are? We don't tend to eat out very often. It's quite a big treat when we go out as a family and eat a meal out. Hot water and heating. It is a myth that if you leave your hot water on constantly, you're going to save yourself money. That is actually something that my mother did. She left it on constantly, and it's a myth. It doesn't save you any money in having it on the whole time. Unless you are constantly using it the whole time, then it might do. But actually having it on once or twice a day, depending on when you like to shower or bath and when you need hot water. But today the systems are pretty efficient. They come up to temperature quickly, and you don't need to leave it on constantly. And then heating. We do not have our heating on at the moment. The Aga is still off, and actually putting another layer on. Using the fire, if you have got, you know, we're lucky we do have an abundance of logs here, so you know, that is a much cheaper way for us to keep the house warm using, I'm pointing and you can't actually see, I have got a log burner right there. So, you know, that is a much cheaper way of us heating the house than having the heating on. And do you need it on, you know, twice a day? Think about it. Think, you know, yes, it is quite nice to have, you know, a warm and cozy house, but could you just put another layer on? And that's a massive saving. We have got our towel rail on in our downstairs cloakroom, and I'm sort of hot boxing that room because normally I would have my Aga on and I dry my washing above my Aga, but I don't have that at the moment, and the weather has been quite changeable. It was hideous last night. It was hideous this morning, but it's actually quite nice now. But I'm not going to put the washing out because in an hour or so it's going to be getting dark. The dew's going to be coming down. So I'm hot boxing the downstairs loo, towel rail on, and I'm keeping the door closed, and I'm drying a lot of washing in there. I've got an airer and I'm drying things directly onto the towel rail, and I'm not using the tumble dryer. I am only using the tumble dryer for towels, and I'm just putting them in. I put them in from the washing machine. I make sure that they're spun really well so they're not too wet when they go into the tumble dryer. I put them into the tumble dryer from the washing machine, and I put them on just one hot cycle. Every machine is different. Mine's 30 minutes, and then I hang them out to finish off drying, and they've fluffed up, but they're still a little bit damp, whereas I would need to put them on for 40-50 minutes for them to be bone dry. And actually I'm saving some money by putting them then onto the towel rail. They're still fluffy, but I'm not using the tumble dryer so much. And somebody from my Efficient Home course said if you put a dry towel in to the tumble dryer with wet things, it dries them quicker, and actually it takes some moisture out, and so there's less condensation, so it does dry quicker. So that's a really a good little hack for you there. Make sure that your appliances are clean. If they are clean and you look after them, they will look after you. I'm a big fan of this. It's so important that you change the bag in your vacuum cleaner, that you clean out the filter in your dishwasher, your tumble dryer, that you put your washing machine on a clean program frequently. so it's not clogged up with gunk and limescale and fluff in your tumble dryer and bits of food in your dishwasher, because then they won't work so well. And so it's really important to look after your machines. I found I have a Miele cat and dog vacuum cleaner. I bought some cheaper vacuum bags and they don't work. They don't hold the dust and things in the bag. It comes out, and then I was clogging up the filter. And so in trying to save money with the vacuum bags, I was giving myself a problem with the overall, what is the word? Like machine filters and turbo and things like that. I was then clogging that up. So actually I wasn't saving myself any money. I was creating a bigger problem. So you need to think about things. Is it a false economy, cutting corners, going with a cheaper option, or actually does it not matter? And some things it doesn't matter, but some things it does. So you just need to be aware of that. The next thing is leaving things on standby. Do they need to be on standby? No. Turn them off. Turn them off. You don't need to leave it, so you don't need to get off your backside to turn the TV on by just sitting there and pressing a button. Actually, stand up and go and turn it on, because it will be on standby for hours, and that is unnecessary. So that is something that you should make sure that everything is properly turned off. The next thing is time switches, and I'm going to tell you a funny story about time switches. So when Mum died and I took over running Devon as holiday lets, we'd actually had a tenant on a sort of longer let in the holiday cottage, and he kept saying that his washing machine was playing up, and sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't work, and he was getting quite frustrated about the whole thing. Understandably so. Anyway, I had various people go out to see what the problem was, what was going on with this mystery of this washing machine, sometimes working and sometimes not working, and nobody could find out what it was. But then somebody said, I think it's on a time switch, but we can't access the time switch because the plug is behind a panel that you can't access unless we kind of take the whole thing apart. And I said, well, I think you better take the whole thing apart and figure out what's going on, because I don't really want to buy a new machine if this machine's all right. And sure enough, behind the panel that you couldn't access was a time switch with the washing machine plugged into it, and it was set for nighttime only. And that was my mother, because it's much cheaper to use your electricity at nighttime, and she has always been very careful with her money. And so everything was on a time switch, and it just made me chuckle that although she was no longer there, we were still having problems. This is about a year later after she died with the time switches. But you know, she was very wise. She was ahead of her time, and she was very careful with her money. And actually, we all should be careful with our money. So I thought having this chat with you would just make everybody think about, can we find ways of saving, and it all adds up. It really does. I remember my grandmother used to always say, look after the pennies and the pounds will take care of themselves, which always used to make us chuckle. So anyway, we've talked about time switches, we've talked about the tumble dryer, the washing machine. Do you need it on a really hot program? Do you need it on a really long program? Think about that. I tend to wash most things at 40 degrees and on a fast wash, and they come out brilliantly. Unless things are, dirty dishcloths and things like that, I will put on a hotter wash. But, just think and be mindful of do you need to put it on a hot, long wash, or can you get away with actually a shorter wash, which again is going to save you money. And doing a full load rather than, just putting a few things in the washing machine. Just actually maybe wait a few more days until you've got some more bits and put a full load on. And again, that's going to save save you quite a lot of money in the, you know, in the long run. And it's not going to happen overnight, but you know, over the course of a year, actually, it will make a big difference. Lights. Let's talk lights. Do we need to have them on? Do we need to come into a room and turn the lights on? I think it becomes a habit, and we don't need to have the lights on in rooms that we're not in. I'm constantly telling the children, actually, they've got really, really good. I sat them down and I said, the cost of electricity has doubled. It's absolutely doubled overnight. And so we've got to be really mindful of what we're doing. Do we need to put the light on when we go to the loo? No, we don't. Do we need to put the light on when we, you know, go into a room? No, we don't. Yes, obviously when it's dark, we do, but actually you get used to it and it becomes a habit just walking in and turning the lights on. So be mindful about that, because again, that's a big, big, big saving, not having the lights on and leaving lights on unnecessarily. I get really, really cross with our B&B guests because they leave the lights on and go out. Why would you do that? I haven't written signs saying turn the lights off, but I'm not far off doing that. So, you know, that's again just something to be mindful of what you're doing. It is a habit to walk in and you know, hit the light switch. And do you need to? Just think, do I need to? And then the last thing that I'm going to, I feel like I'm lecturing you. The last thing I'm going to chat about is lift sharing. Where possible, share lifts with people, and it's going to save a fortune. I have started doing school runs with a mum that lives locally, and you know, it's a massive saving. The cost of diesel petrol is still pretty high. It has come down a little bit, but if you can share lifts, it makes sense. So again, you know, that's something to be mindful of. If you're going to, you know, to an event and you know that a friend's going, why don't you say, why don't we go together? And I think it's just about thinking about the things that we do and thinking about the ways in which we can save money. Somebody shared with me that they have put their Arga back on, but they have cancelled their Sky subscription. I'm really struggling to get my words out today. I think it's because I've had such a bad night's sleep. But they have cancelled, and the dogs are running around. They have cancelled their Sky subscription and they are not going out to eat, which they used to do on, I don't know, a weekly or fortnightly basis. And so that has been a big saving for them, and they can keep their Arga on instead. I was talking to a girlfriend who has agreed with her husband not to use her tumble dryer. She would rather have her Arga on than use a tumble dryer. So, you know, there are ways around things, but I just think we all are affected by this, and we all need to think of ways that we can save. So please, please, please share your tips with me, with us all. It would be super, super, super helpful. I shared on my Instagram stories last week that Simon had been awarded an award at an award ceremony. That's a lot of awards, isn't it? In one sentence. And I just thought I'd chat to you guys a little bit about it, because I'm really, really proud of him. And I'm really proud that, well, not proud, I'm really thrilled that his hard work has been recognised, because it has been a really tough, difficult, challenging time. And I haven't talked very much about it because we've all had difficult, challenging times. I think, you know, I don't think COVID and what's been happening in the world, I think, has affected so many of us that I haven't wanted to be kind of doom and gloom and come on here and said, oh gosh, things are terrible. You know, I feel really privileged that we have a lovely home. I've got 3 healthy children. I've got a husband that I adore, and I've got a huge amount of things, I nearly sort of said a bad word, a huge amount of things to be super, super grateful for. And that's how I like to look at things. But it has been pretty challenging and tough. And so, you know, my money saving tips I have actually had in place for quite a wee while, to be honest. You know, I think when you supply restaurants with food, and the restaurants are closed for a number of years. It's challenging. And then a huge percentage of Simon's fish came from Russia or via Russia or through Russia. And so that was pretty stressful. There was a force majeure called, and then there's been transport issues. There was a vessel that was stuck in the Suez Canal. The cost of transport I think it went up 6 times, not even 6%, 6 times. I mean, it's been bad, really bad. There's been strikes at Felixstowe, and that's on top of the day-to-day hassle of running the sort of type of business that Simon does. There is fish that arrives with the wrong paperwork or the wrong stickers on it, and that isn't allowed in, and there's transport issues where the transport arrives late and the cold store says, no, I'm not letting you in. And there's challenges all the time, and it's been tough. And so I think for Simon to get this award, I don't think I've even told you what award it is. Rising to the Challenge was the award that Simon got, and I just feel so thrilled for him that it's been recognised, the hoops that he has had to jump through backwards, blindfolded, and he's had to literally magic fish out of thin air. And I might be slightly exaggerating things, but that's how it's felt from my point of view as a wife. It's been, every day there has been something else, and he has kept going, and he has kept them in fish, and he hasn't always kept his sense of humour, but he pretty much has, and he has just been, he's just one foot in front of another, and he's just kind of plodded on the best way he possibly can. And I've tried to support him in the best possible way I can by just, not panicking, not stressing. What will be, will be. And we had a very, very difficult situation about 18 months pre-COVID, and things were pretty dire. And we had a plan in place then of what we would do if everything went wrong, and that plan is still in place, a number of years later. And I think there are so many people that are facing challenges and difficulties, and I think for me it's difficult to talk about things when I'm going through it, when we're going through it. Simon, yes, he's been awarded this award, Rising to the Challenge, but it hasn't actually changed anything. It's just the fact that they have recognised that there are challenges, there have been challenges, and he's dealt with them in the best way he possibly can, but it hasn't changed anything financially. But I feel thrilled for him that it has been recognised, the efforts that he has gone to keep things going for them. And it's always nice to have recognition, isn't it? For somebody to say, well done, you have done a good job. And I think actually too infrequently do we say, thank you for things, and do we say well done. And I think it's really important to make a conscious effort. If somebody has given you good service for something, it's just to turn around and say thank you, or to put in a phone call and say, a huge thank you. I think you did really well. That was a great whatever it was. We're always quick to complain. We're always quick to kind of judge and whinge and moan. And actually, I think we all are having challenging, difficult times. And actually, if we can be kind and courteous and thoughtful, it goes such a long way. So yes, I think I'm going to leave this week's vlog on that note, because I feel like I've been really, really lectury. But I wanted to chat about money saving ideas, and actually over the next, the coming weeks and months, I will be sharing other things with you, recipe ideas. So I hope you haven't found it too lectury from me, but I think we all can put our ideas together and help each other, support each other of coming up with tips and ideas of saving money, which will be useful for everybody. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our little trip up to Norfolk. It's difficult for me to share too much up there because, you know, we were there with family, friends, with their children, with our children, and I'm really conscious of not being invited back if I go around with my camera vlogging everything. But it really is a beautiful, special place up there. So do check it out. Check out their events that they've got coming up. And if you know somebody that's looking for a wedding venue, it is a gorgeous place. So do have a look at that. All the details will be down below, and I will see you again next week. And in the meantime, I'm sending lots and lots of love, and stay warm and stay cozy from little Florence and I. Well, I was snuggling with little Florence then, I thought of something else that I would share with you quickly. I have a confession. In 42 years of my life, I have not clipped the ponies myself. And I'm sharing this with you because it might give you the confidence that actually you can tackle something that you have put off. So growing up, we had a wonderful lady who did all of our clipping. She did teach me to trim the ponies, but not clip. She did that. And then my brother was actually very good, so he did it, and I never did, and I got away with it. And then when we moved here and had the horses and ponies, I paid for somebody to come and clip because I didn't know how to do it. And I thought the other day, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous that I can't do this. And Coco said, come on, mummy, you can do it. Bless her for believing in me. And I did it. And I've clipped 2 of them now. I've still got Colin to do. But again, I've saved myself money and I have learnt a new skill. And I can't believe that it has taken me so many years. And that I'm confessing this to you, but in me confessing this to you, it might give you the confidence to go and try a new skill. Like I take Penny and Florence to the groomer. Well, maybe they don't need to go to the groomer. Maybe I can just do it myself. Maybe Florence will go, but maybe not Penny, because Florence is has got a totally different coat to Penny, and I'm not sure I can do that, but maybe I can learn. And it's about, you know, learning new skills, saving money, having the confidence to do it. And if I can learn at the age of 42 to clip, then you guys can learn a new trick too, whether that is painting and decorating, whether it is gardening, whether it's doing whatever it is. But yes, let me know what you're planning on learning, because it's quite a confidence boost too when you've done it. I mean, I haven't done a perfect job on the ponies, but they're good enough, and good enough is okay, isn't it?